Greetings, dear friends, fellow programmers, and those aspiring to be. Today, we will be talking about a topic that is very close to my heart. I'm talking about ways to stay motivated while learning to code, while going through your different flows, while building your projects, doing your regular day job, or whatever it is. You need to stay motivated because it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So grab yourself a favorite drink, sit down, relax, and enjoy the video. When I was first getting started with my coding career, I was learning on my own, and it was really painful experience because I needed to master as many things as possible in as short period of time as possible. Also, I was lacking understanding of the terminology that was being thrown around in the programming world. And also, realistically speaking, there are so many different resources and frameworks that you can get lost in the process. And of course, along the way, I wanted to quit multiple times. But as you can see, I managed to pull through, and here I am. I managed to become a senior developer, team lead, tech lead, entrepreneur, whatever you like. I did it basically. And as you can see, I managed to pull through. Thank God. And in this video, I will be sharing all the tips and experiences that I've acquired and I think are essential in order for you to be able to pull through as well. Because if you like coding, it definitely will pay off in the end. So why wait? Let's get started right away. The first point is going to be dedicated to setting smaller goals. I highly recommend you to introduce this into your day-to-day life, because when you think about it, most of people, including me, were having goals like, I want to become a full-stack developer in the upcoming 3 months. Instead of saying, I want to become a full-stack .NET developer within the upcoming 3 months, you should do something simpler, like, I want to learn the basics of C# language in the upcoming 2 weeks. You need to celebrate those small victories. You do not want to have a single goal that is monumentally large, and it would be a very difficult process to accomplish it, and when you do, you will probably be exhausted from the journey to achieving that goal, and you will not be able to enjoy it because you would be exhausted. In my experience, it's way better to give yourself smaller goals that are all going to lead up to those huge goals that you will have as well, but focus on smaller goals that can be on daily, weekly, or bi-weekly timeframes, and when you do achieve those goals, you will get a reward in form of dopamine hit. And those dopamine hits are going to allow you to pull through the problems because you already have accomplished some of them. So it will be much easier to go through the flows if you organize your goals into smaller, more manageable packets instead of monumental goals. And I have to be honest, nowadays, with all the social media influencers telling you that you can work and you need to work for 27 hours every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year in order to achieve greatness and achieve your goals, I think it makes no sense whatsoever. Because if you take a look at the biology side of how things work and how your brain works, if you were to work for extended periods of time with a very high intensity, your brain is just going to say, F you, I will not do this anymore. And you need to relax in order to gain back your focus and concentration in order to be able to perform on the optimal, or at least approaching optimal, levels. And if you do not do that, you will just be wasting your time. And now we can proceed to our second point, which is going to be practice what you learned. Build a real-life project. Hands-on experience is where the real magic happens. You can start with smaller and simpler projects and work your way towards more meaningful and more realistic applications that really can be used in real life. That way, you will not only solidify your learnings, but you will also have a tangible proof that you have mastered something and that you are able to build something real that is functioning and you've done it yourself. And this feeling is going to allow you to stay motivated for a very long time. Trust me, I've done this many times before, and it is the main reason why I'm managing to pull off so many hours of working every day for such a long period of time. Because I was basically building my personal projects that are real life projects hosted in production and accessible over the internet for my entire career. I basically started building them after about a year and a half into my programming career, because for the first year and a half, I was really hyper-focused on growing and learning as much as possible. I was doing my regular job and also working as a freelancer to gain as much experience as possible, so I barely had any additional time. So after a year and a half, all the way to today, I was constantly building some of my personal projects and bringing them into life. Each project was a story of its own, having its own quirks and features and different things I needed to master in order to make the project succeed. But basically, that is my main motivation to pull through and manage to get everything done and still not quit. The reason why I think building your own stuff is great is because you will have a living proof that you are improving. So when you go back to your old projects you've built, let's say, a couple of years ago, and when you take a look at them from this point, you will most certainly see a gazillion ways that you've improved over those 2 years. You will see that your coding standards are much higher. You will see that your understanding of the issues is better. You will see that your organization is much better. And all of those things, also, of course, you can go in the direction of design capabilities or scalability or performance or SEO or whatever you want. It's all going to improve if you keep working on it. And when you take a look at those old projects, you will be very proud of yourself, I'm sure of it. I can guarantee that. Of course, if you do not want to build real-life, publicly available projects, it's perfectly fine to build your own personal solutions. For example, if you remember and if you saw the video dedicated to Penny Planner, I wanted to build it just for myself to introduce some additional things that I've learned about domain-driven design and just to have it as my personal application to use for myself. And then it grew into a publicly available project which is going to be used in this YouTube channel as a main point of reference and learning for all of us. So basically, you can do whatever you like. It doesn't have to be a real-life project, it can be just a console app or whatever you like. You can do it just if you enjoy it. And also, one more reason why you should definitely do this is because you will be learning stuff much easier and you will remember for way longer than if you did not apply it in action. For example, to this day, I've learned SQL at least 5 times from the ground up. And even now, I suck at it. I suck big time when it comes to SQL, even though I spent hours and hours learning it in multiple different occasions, because I never had the need to apply it consistently in action. I was just using Entity Framework, or I was using just most basic things when it comes to SQL. When I ended up in situations where I needed to fix some issue with SQL on my jobs, I would find a way to Google it, figure out a solution, fix it, and never come back to it. So my knowledge of SQL never got up to a high level because I never built anything that is really hyper-focused on SQL. So that's my living proof that you have to apply something in practice if you want to really master it. Now we are reaching our third point of the day. which is you want to switch things up. You do not want to do a single thing for extended periods of time every day. You will get bored for sure. Like, no matter how interesting something might be to you, over the extended period of time, it will get boring. Of course, for me it works like that. I'm not sure, maybe it does not for you, but for me it does. No matter how much I enjoy building my personal projects, in certain situations I feel like I'm sick of building backend. Now let me go to front end, and then I switch things up and everything is shiny again. So you should always have that in mind. For example, if I need to learn and master a new tech, I would spend maybe 2 hours every day doing that, but also I will be working on some backend at the same time. Also, I will maybe do some designing or some front end, or I will be writing scenarios for my videos, or I will be filming those videos, or basically there is a gazillion things that I'm currently doing that I have to do. So at least I do not have that issue that my life is boring when it comes to work, because there are so many different things that I'm doing right now that I can organize in whatever way I like and always feel like I'm doing something novel and new, which for me personally works great. I mean, do not get me wrong. You can do a single thing and still feel like you're doing something else. For example, you have completed a certain part of your application, now you're working on other parts, and it feels like something completely new. But if you do not have that feeling, you should definitely think about switching things up in order not to feel bored by what you're doing. So you are the only person responsible for making sure that you do not feel bored and that you do feel challenged at all times. And here we are, point number 4, which is taking breaks. This one can go under the radar, and I do not want you to neglect it. So it is very important to take breaks while working, because you might lose focus without even knowing it. As you probably know already, coding can be tough and it can be demanding on your focus and your mental abilities. And if you keep working for many hours every day for extended period of time, you are opening yourself for a burnout. Or if you do not like that word, you are opening yourself to feel exhausted and not being able to perform on your maximum point of efforts. And I can tell you, you do not want to be in that place. You always want to feel like you are doing something you enjoy and you are performing it in a way you enjoy it. And also, when you take breaks, you will feel like, well, I have just a limited amount of time that I need to utilize the best I can, and after that I'll relax. So what I like to do, and what I've been studying about proactively, is Pomodoro technique, which gives you a time box of 25 minutes. I mean, you can customize it, but I'm using 25 minutes, and then you have 5-minute break. And within those 5 minutes, you basically can do whatever you like, but you should not keep sitting in your chair and keep working. So what I would like to give you as advice here while taking your breaks, I think it would not be beneficial if you spend those breaks looking at your phone or watching your TV or maybe playing video games or things of those sorts. Of course, do not get me wrong, I'm guilty of all 3 of those things, but I'm just saying they're not the optimal way to relax in your breaks. Because, for example, while I play video games, my brain definitely does recover and regenerate because I'm not thinking about anything, I'm enjoying the game. But my eyes are still in pain, they're still struggling to focus on the screen. While browsing social media or watching a video, you're again straining your eyes and maybe even challenging your mind if you're watching something that requires your full attention. So things that I think are a great way to relax, at least for me personally, is to lay down, close your eyes, and just spend a couple of minutes doing nothing. Just relax and rest. Also, taking a walk in nature is awesome, but you might not have nature at your garden or backyard. Also, you can do anything physical. It's going to boost you and give you energy to keep going. So you can do a couple of exercises or stretches or whatever. Or me personally, because I live in the forest, in the nature, I like to head to my backyard and do something quickly, like do some digging or cut down some trees or something like that, just to get my blood flowing and to relax my mind. But this can be anything you enjoy doing and you feel like is allowing you to recover. The one thing I want you to take from this section is only you do not exclude taking breaks at all. And here we are. Point number 5, which is stay curious, which is very essential if you want to be a developer. Because I'm sure you already heard me say this, if you want to be a developer and a good one, you have to constantly learn. And it would be way easier for you if you actually enjoyed that part. Because me personally, I like learning new stuff. It's interesting, it's fun, it's challenging, and I like it. But there certainly are people who do not enjoy that part, which is why in my video dedicated to the topic of who should become a developer, I explicitly stated that I think people who are not interested in learning new stuff constantly should probably not get into coding. Because it is very important to learn and grow and adjust to the market. And if you do not like learning, you will not be able to do it. Or you will be if you're very disciplined, but it will be so hard for you. Because basically tech world is constantly evolving and new technologies are coming out and you constantly need to master new stuff if you want to be competitive on the job market. And also, if you do enjoy it, this process will make you feel engaged and it will allow you to look back at your previous self and see your growth and feel great about it. So that is going to motivate you to keep going and not quit. And finally, for this video, last point is going to be dedicated to joining a community. This part is also a great way to motivate yourself to keep going, not quit, and basically do the best as you can. So what I mean here is you can basically enroll yourself into many different kinds of communities like Reddit or Discord servers or YouTube communities that are dedicated to programming, where you can find like-minded people who might be interested to join together with you, and then you can together embark on a certain journey of learning a new programming language or building some project together or whatever you like. But basically this will keep you accountable. It might burn the fire within you to be competitive and to prove that you're a better developer than the other person is, and whatever works for you. But definitely community is a great way to keep being motivated and not quit. Which is why I'm preparing a surprise for you guys, which is going to be also including a community inside of it. But until that project is done and ready for you to enjoy, I think you can also find community in the comment section of my videos, where you can reach out to me. I'll gladly explain whatever you need help with. I certainly will do my best to help you stay motivated and keep going, because I enjoy it. And that is it. We have covered 6 very important points that might be very useful for you to keep you motivated and not quit on your programming journey. As I already mentioned, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You need to pace yourself and always be worried about the fact whether you're overdoing it, whether you're feeling nice about yourself while building something, working hard, and things of those sorts. Of course, at certain points, it's going to be difficult, it's going to be painful for you, but in the end, you need to make sure that the pain threshold is not high enough to make you quit. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did and found it useful, I would like to kindly invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn the notifications on, because it would help me out a lot. Until the next video, I would like to thank you for watching and wish you an amazing day. Happy coding!